Good afternoon, traders. It's about 4 o'clock on April 29th, Wednesday. My name's Daniel, and this is the view from my vantage point. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the global markets and how VantagePoint is doing global market analysis and how you can use that information to actually forecast and predict what the stocks or the currencies or the markets that you're trading are expected to do over the next 1 to 3 days. But before we get into the details of VantagePoint and actually look at some charts, the numbers are in. GDP was not met. The forecast was not met. Well, what does that mean for your trading? What does that mean for your currencies? You know, people are speculating that's going to push the dollar up, or it's going to push the euro down. It's going to have an impact on the stocks, and the market's going to fall, or it's going to rise. There's so many speculations about what that kind of information is going to do to the markets that you're trading. You can't make heads or tails of it. That's where VantagePoint comes in. You need a tool that's going to take all of the global market impacts and use that information to actually generate a forecast. The forecast in VantagePoint is up to 86% accurate, which means the global market analysis, or as we call it, Intermarket Analysis, that patented technology in VantagePoint, is able to crunch mass amounts of data and information and actually generate a forecast and turn traditional lagging indicators, transform them into market leading indicators so you can make money on a consistent basis. Remember, the person that makes the most money with trading wins. Let's take a look at some actual markets so you can see what I'm getting at when I talk about intermarket analysis and making money consistently. We're looking at the pound and the US dollar. Now, the pound and the US dollar has been trending for quite some time. It's up again today, but you can see VantagePoint way back here on April 14th forecasted this to go up. How do I know that? Well, right here, the blue line crossed above the black line. When that blue line crosses above the black line, that's VantagePoint indicating after doing mass amounts of data crunching, after taking the global markets and determining which markets are influencing this Forex pair, which markets are driving it up, which ones are pulling it down, which ones are pushing it sideways, and on top of all of that, to what degree? There's 25 intermarkets looked at before this pair is forecasted. So when I say VantagePoint indicated this trend was going to start going up on April 14th, all that global market analysis was already done. You see that crossover. Very simple. Blue line crossed above black line, VantagePoint indicating that trend is going to go up. Your next step, check the neural index, that green line at the bottom. Some of you have seen this before. This green line is the predicted neural index. Write that down, PNI. And that's important because that's indicating short-term strength or weakness. When it's up here at the top, it's indicating that there's strength because it's in a 1 position, and it's an oscillator. So when it's down here at the bottom, it's in a 0 position, saying there's some short-term temporary weakness. Now, with VantagePoint, you're going to use that as confirmation. So when the blue line crosses above the black line and the neural index is at a 1, that's a strong indication this trend is going to go up. And look at this. In just one day, boom. This trend went up, and you made significant money per lot. 159 pips, $1,500 profits, but since then, the blue line stayed above the black line. The entire time you're in this position, VantagePoint is indicating this trend is going to keep trending up. For the last 10 trading days, that's a couple of weeks right there, you're up $5,500 per lot. So you invest about $2,000 in a single lot, and you're up $5,500. Now, right there, you can see how very easily intermarket analysis, VantagePoint, can help you make money on a consistent basis. Because I don't know if you've looked at the cable today, but it's up again. Just like the euro US dollar. Here's another very, very popular pair. A lot of people talk about this every single day, day in and day out. Same kind of information on the 23rd of April. VantagePoint indicated this trend was going to go up. And just in 3 days, not including today, because it's up substantially again today, you're up 152 pips or $1,500 per standard lot. That's Forex. That's currencies, right? People are talking about the US dollar climbing. People are talking about the GDP forecast. People are talking about how retail sales are supporting the economic growth at a slow pace. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's look at Microsoft. A tech stock has a lot to do with retail, if you think about it. VantagePoint indicated this trend was going to go up on April 9th. Just in a couple of days, it started to go up, and just in a couple of weeks, you're already profitable and making money. And that blue line, remember, stayed above the black line the entire time. And as of the close of business yesterday, you're up 18% or about $7.50 per share in a couple of weeks' time. Now, there's a lot of people out there with 2, 3, 5,000 shares of Microsoft. If you had this forecast, you're happy. 10,000 shares of that, or even 1,000 shares of that, you're talking about making $7,000 profit. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about currencies or stocks or futures. If you've got this kind of information, you can improve your accuracy, reduce your risks by using better information that's looking at the markets from a global perspective, and just be a more profitable trader. Now, a lot of people are also talking about Apple. Well, what does all that information mean for Apple? Let me show you the forecast in Apple. This is a great one because you can see some additional indicators in VantagePoint and how you can layer indicators to give you additional information. The blue line crossed above the black line back here in March. The Neural Index was at a 1. You guys get it by now. It's simple and extremely effective. But as long as you're in that position, you're making money. And right here, I want to talk about this day right here. This was yesterday. There was a dramatic drop in Apple. Up till yesterday, the profits on this are about 5%, almost $7 per share. Now, a lot of people lost all of that money yesterday because they didn't have effective stops in play. Now, VantagePoint forecasts the next day's high and low for every stock and every market that we've been talking about so far. And yesterday, I can assure you, using our predicted low, I can see where you would have been stopped out at any point in the second half of this candle in this lower region here, still up over 4% per share. Now, VantagePoint was obviously saying this trend was expected to go up, and the overall trend could be expected to keep going up, but you can see that it's weakened substantially, and using predictive information to set more effective stops could have knocked you out of that position appropriately, I might add, with over $5 per share profit. So VantagePoint, being up to 86% accurate, is going to give you the information and the accuracy you need to not only protect yourself like an Apple, but to help you make money consistently like you see right here in Microsoft in a big way, almost 20% profits. There's no doubt in my mind, and there should be no doubt in your mind, if you're trading the global markets, and you are, whether you're trading in the U.S. stocks, whether you're trading in currencies around the world, you're trading in a global economy, you need a global approach. You need to do whatever you can to stack the odds in your favor. Otherwise, you're taking needless risks, and it's unnecessary. Give us a call today. Let us walk you through VantagePoint and tell you exactly how we can help you be more successful and get you started right away.